Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We're talking about Free Guy.
Yay!
We got done watching it a little bit earlier today, and I wanted to get this review out as fast as possible, which is why we're doing it in the car. And I want to let you guys know that I love this film.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite films of 2021, and I was not expecting to say that today.
I don't think you knew too much about the film before we went into it. I remember seeing a trailer for it like a year or two ago, and then it just... I guess, you know, because of COVID and everything, everything was kind of put on hold. But I always thought it seemed really interesting, like this whole concept of what if you were an NPC and all of a sudden you realized that you had autonomy. And I think they did that really well, and like kind of all of the video game elements in it just seemed like they actually knew their source material.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, for sure. If you're someone who's played a lot of Grand Theft Auto or even a little bit of Fortnite or PUBG, I feel like this will really speak to you. They got a lot of in-jokes for those of you who are gamers. At least for me, that's how I felt. You know, as someone who's played a lot of Grand Theft Auto and hearing a lot of random one-liners from people on the street, you definitely see that in this film. Before I get any further, I want to say this is going to be a non-spoiler review in case you missed that in the title of this video. But I want to say, just general overview, the acting was great from the main cast, from the supporting cast. I thought that was fantastic. The comedy from Ryan Reynolds was great. The comedy from this guy playing Ryan Reynolds' best friend, I think his name is Buddy in the film. I'm not exactly sure about that, but he plays a security guard in the movie. And he was great. The action was actually fantastic in this movie. I was surprised.
Well, they really like kind of took it all the way, right? Because you're going in for a movie which is about being in a video game, and so you don't have the same constraints or the rules of physics or anything that you would in like your regular live action movie. And so they were like, okay, well, what can we do? Because it's a video game, and like they really delivered on that front. Yeah,
absolutely. And so right from the get-go, the opening shot of this film, like it sets the tone, it sets the stage for the film. That opening shot was fantastic. It's just so weird because I was going into this going, okay, it's a comedy, I'll get some ha-ha, some chuckles out of this. But from a visual effects and practical effects standpoint, they did a stellar job. Like, I don't want to put it on par with like The Matrix or Doctor Strange, but damn, it was really, really strong. They employed bullet time in this film, for those of you who care about that stuff. Just all across the board, I was like, wow, this is stunning for it being this little comedy. And it's not, you know, I think in my mind, it was a little comedy.
It was, but then you get there and it's like, oh no, it's not a little comedy.
Yeah,
it's actually something more. Like the story is really good. The characters are really compelling. You know, it's got a really sweet love story. It's so uplifting.
The soundtrack is fun.
Yeah, the soundtrack is fun. And like when you leave the cinema, you're just like, wow, I just feel really good. I feel really happy. You know, it's just so feel good. I love it.
So there are some negative things in the film that I should mention. And I feel like saying this at the outset will probably be more beneficial for those of you who haven't seen the film yet. I feel like Taika Waititi was probably the weakest part of the film, and me saying that now will lower your expectations for him so that you are more happy when you see him, because I had high expectations knowing that he was one of the leads in this film, and I came out going, oh, he overplayed it, you know?
Yeah, it was just like a little bit too extra, which seems weird because like you were talking about a movie which is about being in a video game, but because his character was based in the real world, it just seemed like his character was just a little bit too over the top.
Yeah, I mean, its portrayal of the head of a video game company seems quite unrealistic to me. Although, that being said, there was some news that came out about Blizzard recently, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you know, he's based on a real guy. Who knows?
I have no idea. The people I've met, because I've been in those circles before, but that was like 10 years ago.
Right.
And so maybe the culture has evolved quite a bit in the last 10 years to have people like that. But
very, very eccentric.
But spending time at E3, spending time at Insomniac Games, I had not ever encountered once anybody who's walking around in a World of Warcraft outfit, you know, throwing orders around like Steve Jobs. Like I personally had never witnessed that, but I was not as immersed in the video game scene as I have been in like the film industry.
Yeah, maybe it really is that toxic.
Maybe.
Who knows? Yeah.
It's possible. There was like one minor SJW moment. Full transparency, I'm like a centrist, but I favor, I guess, liberal, progressive more than conservative. That being said, like whenever I see SJW stuff in films, I'm like, all right, you know, and I just try to let it roll off my back. And there was one scene in this film where I was like, I wish that wasn't there, but it's fine. I love the movie. So it's like, you know, it's not perfect for me. It's not perfect, but damn, does it come close.
Yeah.
You know, because just like again, the acting, the music, the action,
the story,
the comedy, all of that stuff is so strong. I'm like, wow, this is one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah, and it's good for all the family as well, I think, or at least most of them. You probably don't want to take little kids.
And speaking of SJW,
what?
This is gonna make me sound like an SJW. While the entire cast was fantastic, and they do have some minorities in the supporting roles, I do kind of low-key wish that the nerd programmer dude, I wish that he was a minority, like Indian or black or some kind of Asian or something that, because like your three main people are all Caucasian. I'm like, well, it didn't have to be that, you know?
Sure,
it could have been diverse. Like, I'm not someone who's like, oh, every movie's got to have like extreme diversity. I'm not about that, but if there's an opportunity and it makes sense, like, why not?
Well, I agree with that. I do think that the cast that they chose were really strong.
Yeah, they were.
So
no, for sure. I like them. I do like them. I do like all of their performances and the people they chose. I just kind of like was low key kind of wishing. That's me being persnickety. Now, me being extra persnickety, the dude they chose. Okay, so what you'll find out very early in the film, this is not like a spoiler. What you find out early in the film is that one of the main characters is a programmer. He is supposed to be that guy that often gets overlooked by women, who has never really had a girlfriend before, never really been in a relationship, has been kind of obsessed with one girl. It's hard for me to buy that because of who they chose for that role. Because that dude is handsome, he's got nice hair, he's not short. To me, he's the kind of dude that at least once every few months, a girl would throw herself at him. At least every few months. With that in mind, I kind of wanted a scene where that maybe happened, where he's at a coffee shop and this girl hits on him, and it's like, sorry, I'm sorry to start sort of into someone right now.
That is you being very nitpicky, though. It's entirely unnecessary.
No, it's necessary. It is necessary because, not really necessary. This is me again being persnickety. It's kind of necessary just because I don't buy that guy as someone who would get looked past the way the movie wants me to believe he would.
He is Hollywood level. Maybe girls would look past him, but even then.
Hell no.
IRL, no, this guy is picking up chicks left, right,
yes,
center.
Exactly. Yes. There's no way he would be that goobery in real life. And so he's not even goobery in the movie. They call out in the film that he's got beautiful hair. So I'm like, so it's fine. You know, overall, the film is tons of fun.
Yeah.
Definitely worthwhile. And if you can, definitely watch it in theaters before it leaves theaters. Part of what they were advertising with the whole very clever Korg and Deadpool thing is that it's showing in theaters, that it's not streaming yet, but that window will close really fast if people don't go watch it. And so if you can watch it in theaters, I would say please do so. Today, we watched something else, which that'll be a separate video. We watched something else in a bubble, a group thing, which is available at theaters for those of you who are very COVID averse, or like you're trying, not COVID averse, but like public spaces averse. Like you're not trying to go out too much because of, variants and stuff like that.
Not the Loki kind.
I get that concern. And so you can pay for a special screening of like $150 for you and 20 people that you trust to go and watch the movie together. At least try to do that, I would say, because the theatrical experience, I would say for this particular movie, can't be beat. Especially being able to laugh with all your friends and get that experience of the sound and the visual,
I mean, we definitely want to watch it again in the movie, so
yes. And so because of that theater experience, which is very, very hard to replicate at home, I would say do your best to go out and watch this at the theaters.
Mask up.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do. So you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that review, and I would love to hear from you guys if you've seen it already. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.